Hello, Mr. Thorsten. Thank you very much for agreeing to take this interview with us. We highly appreciate it. My name is Ms Despina Natsi, and I work as a researcher at the Together project. And, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure to have this opportunity and to be part of this, I would say, really wonderful initiative. I'm Thorsten Parchent. I'm part of the International Office of the University of Bayreuth, and I'm in charge of the Welcome and Alumni Services. And we also have a unit which is called Service for Refugees and Migrants. Mm-hmm. And I'm also in charge of that.
Nice. And as far as I know, you do a wonderful work regarding researchers who are at risk, and the program is called Scholars at Risk. Is that right?
Yeah, partly. So Scholars at Risk is an initiative which is now more active in more countries. Mm-hmm. The German unit of Scholars at Risk exists, I think, for 3 years now, if I'm not wrong. Mm-hmm. And we are a member of Scholars at Risk Germany right from the start. And this is because we are active since the first round of a scholarship program, which is called Philipp Schwartz Initiative, which is organized and also got started by the Alexander von Humboldt Foundation. And this is running since 2015. And the idea behind that is that there is unfortunately ongoing demand for supporting refugees, not so much as they would more called scholars who are threatened, mm-hmm. Scholars under risk. And this initiative is targeting to support basically the research environment for those researchers who are not able to go on with their work, with their life in the countries where they are, where they worked, where they lived. So this program is designed to give them a space, a new space to go on. They sometimes are threatened physically, but the program is, I would say, more designed to enable them to go on with their research. So to go on with their academic work. So both things have to be taken into account.
Okay, and let's say a scholar at risk, a refugee who is a researcher or a postdoctoral researcher or a PhD candidate, etc. here now. What can he or she do to join your program at the University of Bayreuth?
Mm-hmm. So basically, we see ourselves as an institution who is open to protect those candidates. Basically, when we're talking about strategically supporting those researchers, we are talking about postdoc candidates, so people who mm-hmm. already have a PhD, so who are in their postdoc period. And we are participating in this Philipp Schwartz initiative, which mm-hmm. is a scholarship program which is organized by the Humboldt Foundation and which you can attend, so which means you can hand in applications twice a year on a regular basis. If you succeed, that means you match a host and a candidate, and you convince the judges from the Alexander von Humboldt Foundation and their affiliated institutions that this candidate is qualified in terms of academic qualification and in terms of this threatened overall status. So these are the two components, and then the candidate receives a scholarship monthly up to 3,500 euros. And also the institution, so we get support in terms of funding to organize the stay, to organize the support, to organize the services. So, which means it's a very close monitored program. On one hand, on the academic part, and on the other hand, also we support with everything that is the range from trying to get the people out of the country up to settle them here and support them very, very closely. And one part is, of course, people are not only threatened, but also in a very fragile and precarious overall situation that has to be taken into account in that specific program.
Sounds like a really interesting initiative, and it is actually, and you're really helping. And I would like now to tell me a little bit about the challenges you're faced with.
Mm-hmm. So the challenges, so we hosted and still host people from Syria, people from Libya, people from Turkey. So that means they are coming from a different background. It's sometimes complicated to get people out of the country. This is one challenge. So that means we need the support of the government in order also to use the embassies to support us. That also means we are talking about traumatized researchers. So this mental aspect is a big challenge. So people are in a situation where they are totally under pressure. And I mean in many aspects. So they are under pressure because they are threatened. They're under pressure because suddenly their life has changed from one day to the other. And then they are also under pressure because this is a scholarship program running for maximum 3 years. So that means till they are settled, the clock is already running very fast. So this is a big challenge to, yes, they get big support at the beginning and for those 3 years, but then what is coming after this? What is next? So to help them to re-establish their career or to go on with their career, but also to give them a perspective in terms of a new home. Yeah, and this is a big challenge, as you can imagine, because the let's say the academic labor market is already very tight all over in Europe. And so they are immediately part of the competition in Germany, and they don't know the rules. Yeah, so they know the academic rules back home, but here it's something totally different. And so yes, they are special on one side. On the other side, this specific situation also makes them even more fragile. Yeah, because at the end they are competitors on this very tight academic labor market. And so this is a big challenge. So we try to, and especially the Humboldt Foundation does an excellent job in providing workshops, and Scholars at Risk is also providing workshops and conferences. So there are regular conferences throughout the year. We also, one big challenge, of course, is the language. And then the family issues. Yeah, so many of those researchers already have family. So we're not talking about supporting just one person, we are talking about supporting the whole family in terms of settle, in terms of language skills, in terms of, so to say, coming to the place, feeling comfortable, yeah, feeling protected. Yeah, so these are the main challenges, I would say.
Yeah, you talked about many challenges that those scholars are faced with, but I'm sure you're doing a wonderful work to overcome them. And I'm sure that these people are finding their way, even though, as you described the whole process, it seems like they are on the run all the time, and the clock is always behind them, trying. Yes, it's pretty hard, but I can see that you're doing a wonderful job, and I would like to congratulate you for that. And thank you once again for accepting to talk with us and give this interview.
Thank you for the invitation. And I think it's very important that people get as much as they can in terms of information, access to networks, yeah, because this is really helpful.
Yes.
The more network you have, the better protection you also have in a very vulnerable situation that you face. And we do everything that we can, but we are also in need of good working networks, yeah, all over Europe. So I think it's really a European challenge, no? That people have to have the chance to feel protected in Europe. And I think that this is something that we can foster all together. And I think this is the job that we should do. Yeah.
That's a very nice message to close with, that whole Europe should be united, and that's what we're doing now. We from Greece are talking with a university from Germany, and we are both working on the same goal, and that's really nice. So that's a very nice message for the end of this interview. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.